Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Ikoyigate. Now, remember that, $44 million odd that was found in an Ikoyi apartment. So by now you know, the government has said, well, since nobody has come forward to claim it, there were a number of claimants. I think NIA and the intelligence agency said that it was their money and that there was nothing hanky-panky about it. And then I believe that River State government also claimed the money, and he has spoken to his people and said that, I assure you I'm going to get that money for us. Well, now government has said, well, in the meantime, since nobody has come forward meaningfully, it's one thing to say it with mouth, as we say locally. It's another thing to, put forward a formal sort of application, maybe deposition that indeed $43.5 million, 27, almost 28,000 pounds sterling, not to mention naira. We got 23 million naira. That nobody has come forward, and so we're sending this whole money to the Treasury. Okay. Some might say that's a very logical progression, but let's see what my guests think. Chief Dr. Fase Yusuf is a lawyer and communications consultant. Thank you very much, as always, for coming on.
My pleasure.
And then just also to balance it, we got a lawyer here. Let's get a doctor there. We got Dr. Amadeli Boyo. Actually, we're not talking medicine at all today. We're talking public policy. Thank you very much for coming on, Amadeli.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Let me start with you. This money, first of all, this money is our money. It's Nigeria's money. I don't think there's any argument about that. It's just that Nigeria sometimes is like a suit that has so many different pockets, but it is on one Nigerian body. So that money is ours, one way or the other. But the whole matter about the claimants, and now government just cutting right through it and saying, let the money revert to the Treasury. What do you think this makes of Professor Shibajo's committee that was set up by the president to look into the matter? That report hasn't been submitted. Shibajo said he's not going to release it before the president does so himself. Tell me what you think about this whole, the way things have gone.
Yes, when on April 12th, the EFCC conducted a sting operation, as they called it, and found this money, people were wondering that, there must be smoke and fire, but it appeared as if there was fire without the smoke. Nobody could tell us what led to the sudden realization that the money was there. And even when they found out the money was there, nobody could even give an account of how the money got there, except, if you remember this story you mentioned in regards to the fact that somebody, why the money was not forfeited, why nobody has come forth for the money. A lawyer appeared at the High Court, one lawyer, a lawyer appeared there and was called a meddlesome person because he was now saying, well, Shibajo's committee is already there and the court should wait. But the Advanced Fee Fraud Act of 2006 and Section 17 had already become a bill, and the act had already said any money that is forfeited like that should be returned to the Treasury. So whether Shibajo's committee was looking into it or not, the EFCC was going ahead. It would have been left for the security agencies within themselves, through the Office of the Attorney General, to have said, let's call off this matter and let it be handled through let the Shibajo committee go on with it. But the EFCC continued, and the judge had given 2 weeks' notice for anybody who could lay claim or who could prove the ownership of the money to show up. And it was advertised in papers. All those like Wike that claimed that the money belonged to them never appeared to have, deposed or come out.
So the money had to, as you said,
when it came
go
back
by
to
the
court,
go by the law.
From this lawyer who came out to say, no, the committee is supposed to be looking at it, and the judge described him as meddlesome, and I had no local standing, the whole issue. Nobody else came out. So we should be more concerned about this conspiracy of silence. Why nobody came out, except, of course, want to trace the matter to the wife of the NIA director who rented the apartment with bought the apartment $1.86 million. Apart from that, there was no other person, only ghosts we had to deal with.
Dr. Fase, it's an intriguing story. First of all, let me just start from Look, we're talking about the government here, and the government is awesomely powerful. It has so many resources at its disposal. Now, this whole matter about nobody has come out to claim it, and so therefore we don't have anybody, neither do we have any suspect. It looks to me that they seem to be saying, we just don't know what to do about this money, so in the meantime we'll just stash it away for safekeeping. How does that sit with you, that government doesn't have the wherewithal to forensically find out who exactly put that money there and who's claiming ownership?
Well, to my mind, I think it's the doctrine of separation of power. The judiciary has to perform its own job. In performing its own job, and the judiciary is not a Father Christmas. It doesn't give what it's not asked for. In this particular case, I mean, there was a publication, I mean, statutorily, because I'm requiring anybody to laying claim to the money to come forward and to justify his claim. But in this particular case, nobody came up. So it is only natural that the court will grant the forfeiture order, the permanent forfeiture order. And not only that.
When you say permanent, it means that nothing can happen after this that will unfreeze it.
Well, if they appeal, I mean, subject to appeal, but they will ask you, what were you doing when the whole process was going on? I mean, if you look at the case of Wike, the governor of Rivers State, I mean, to my mind, he must have been clowning, because he said this money belonged to the people of Rivers State,
and that he was going to claim it back.
And he was going to claim it back, and he was instigating his people. So he had the ample opportunity to lay claim to the money, and he never did. So it means he slept over his own right. So it will be difficult for anybody now to come forward. But when you now extend it to what is happening within the presidency, I mean, I'm not too comfortable that such a matter was allowed to drag on endlessly. I mean, because from what we got to know, the report of Shibajo's ad hoc committee was submitted before the president traveled out of the country.
Yes.
So a decision, because this matter has a way of affecting the credibility of government, and therefore one would have thought that such a matter would have been disposed of expeditiously. And for it not to be disposed of up to this moment goes a lot to show that the government perhaps has not made up its mind on what to do, or perhaps there are some other issues that has not been told to, have not been told to members of the public. So we will start asking ourselves what is actually going on there. So I think we need to know.
That's the way probably a lot of people feel, that there's a bit more to this, no doubt, than meets the eye. If you remember, of course, Professor Shibajo's committee, it will have all the resources necessary to dig deeper than the ordinary man walking the street. But the NIA at one point was claiming that money, the National Intelligence Agency, and it was saying that, you know, these kind of things, really, it's very unfortunate that we're speaking about these kind of things in public. That should not be done, but this has happened. In other words, they were insinuating that in the cloak and dagger world of espionage, etc., this is not entirely unusual.
Yes, in fact, his claim was supported by the one-time Minister of External Affairs, Professor Bolaji Akiyemi, who say that they should have dealt with it within the confines of the diplomatic world. You know? He did say that. But at the end of the day, if you read the judgment very well, the judge did say that he was particularly perturbed by the fact that he said sum of 13 billion naira could not be traced to have gone through any designated financial institution. So the judge was worried about so many issues there. Nobody came to claim the money. Even the EFCC, that's supposed to be a kind of security outfit that could investigate to the last, I mean, could get anywhere with the investigation, could even track down, I mean, money has footprints. Money has footprints.
You know why the story is even more intriguing is that, remember, we were hearing from the outside, we were on the outside looking in, we were hearing at the time, if you recall, that actually the NIA had reached across to EFCC when they knew this sting was going down, and say, look, don't go there. It's not illegitimate. We know all about it, but the EFCC allegedly, reportedly wanted to continue. and thereby, from their point of view, no doubt, making a mess of the whole thing, the mess that we're contending with now.
Yeah, but if the NIA was so sure, like what the like what he said, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of the NIA itself has so many attachments to both foreign affairs and security agencies and so on. They could also have, through the Attorney General or through other means, could have also gone to the back door. But at the time the EFCC had broken through and made this thing public, which was my first complaint. My first observation was that, look, when you carry out this sting operation, the first thing to do is not a pressman. It's not bringing pressmen to take photographs and put on the pages of paper. It's better in the first place, do your investigation properly and discuss with the relevant authorities and get your facts and figures very clear.
In fact, this is fascist territory. What I mean by that is that law, order, regulations, there's a prescribed way you must go about these things if they're not to be null and void, so we understand.
Like I was saying earlier today, you see, there's a lot of mumbo-jumbo within the presidency, and it's a house divided among itself. If you look at what has been happening, they've been working at cross purposes. The State Security Service is at war with the EFCC, and the EFCC has been trying to reach back. And if you look at, even the committee setup, you remember, the National Security Advisor is there. The Director General of the State Security Service is there.
I think the Attorney General is there. And the Vice President is there.
The Chairman of EFCC or the Acting Chairman of EFCC is also there.
So there are those who are saying that you're being the judge, the jury, everybody at the same time.
And not only that, you see, what is so perplexing is the non-disclosure of the outcome of the report. Is there anything that we ought not to know?
Well, Professor Bolaji Akinyemi's point that he raised, I think it was going in that direction, that look, guys, this is diplomatese. A lot of it is unsavory. No, we don't need to be airing all these things in public.
Excuse me. You brought this into the public knowledge. We must see to the end of the matter. Okay,
let me come back on that point, and I got to go break now. And we'll come and look at this wrangling. Is there a power play going on in the presidency itself? And why is the presidency standing for it? Why has it not cut through it or put its foot down? Stay with us, please. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The court orders forfeiture of 13 billion naira in cash since nobody has come forward. But that in itself raises some questions, as we were saying just before we went on break. Professor Oshibajo's committee, its report has not been made public, even though even Professor Oshibajo has said that the president has the report. He chose not to release it. So it now brings us to the question of, okay, maybe in the president's time, which shouldn't be too long, we get to know about these matters. But it does bring up the question of, is there unnecessary rivalry within the presidency, talking about the AFCC, talking about the NIA, one shouting across to the other, say, hey guys, it's all right. Everybody says, forget it. Well, I'm going the whole hog on this. And why is the presidency, and that's my wonder, standing for it?
Well, you see, the point to be made is this. All along, we all knew that things were no longer at ease within the top officials in the presidency. And as I said, they've been working at cross purposes to the extent that the DG of NIA could not talk to his colleague, the chairman of the acting chairman of the FCC. And again, don't forget that the SSS, no, there's not like DSS in the Constitution. They just give themselves whatever name they like. It's a state security service, as far as we know. But you see, they undermined the confirmation of Magu, and perhaps there must have been a lot of rivalry.
Which is another example of the division within.
Yes.
The presidency wants something. The president wants something. One of his agencies is undermining that.
Yes. So you cannot imagine if these top agencies, especially security outfit, would not work in harmony. Then what will you talk about? The security of the nation. And again, you are talking about this huge sum of money. How did you get there? Who authorized the movement of that money from the office of NIA to another obscure place? And how was the money transported?
Exactly. How do you?
Because that place will have attracted attention.
How do you know how $43 million?
Yes, worth of I mean,
must be
dollars and all the rest.
Must
and
be
again,
a bulky
for
load.
you now to even think that this was, I mean, the dollars were unwrapped.
From what we saw on Facebook videos.
So, and again, we also need to know the role of central bank, because there was no way this money could have been lifted from a foreign country to Nigeria.
No doubt,
without the knowledge of government.
All those points, no doubt, I'm sure would have been covered by Shibajo's committee, but for now, we don't know. Mr. George, thank you very much for holding on, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
And good morning to the panelists as well. Uncle Yori, I would like to tell Dr. Fassi that you cannot expect, harmony in the way he pictures it among the security agencies in a government that is fighting corruption. Security agents are not corruption-proof. Everybody will want to defend his position or one position or the other. So that's what we are seeing. All those people, especially the governor that made the claim that he's the owner of that money, why didn't he come forward? Uncle Yori, I think it is about time that this immunity clause thing should be reviewed, where a governor, because of the immunity he enjoys, can just say and do anything because he cannot be charged to court. Something has to be done about it. Coming back to the money, how can you, I have had some people say that the money belongs to the NIA, and as such, the NIA, some even suggested that the NIA boss should be recalled if nothing is found against him. Okay, the NIA is an institution, Uncle Yori. If the director is on suspension, doesn't that organization have a deputy or assistant director or somebody, at least somebody is acting in that organization? When the court asks for the owner of the money, the person that is acting for that organization should have come forward to say, this money belongs to my organization. That already proves to me that the claim that the NIA director made that it belongs to NIA cannot be true. So we wait for the report of the vice president. I don't expect that he will act upon a report that he himself produced. So let us be patient, let the president come back, and then we'll see what he does with that report. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in. Excellent point. Looking at Professor Shibajo's style, he never does anything without doing it in the name of the president and all of that. So this is
but a point of correction there.
Yeah.
The report was ready before the president traveled.
Yes.
And with the level of the gravity of the situation, I mean, the president should have at least gotten what you can call a brief on the report, and then
decide one way or the other
what to do with it. The country cannot be held to ransom. But then, like he said, this is not the matter of rushing it. The money was...
You haven't seen the report, so you can speak like that. The president has seen the report.
Oh, you have seen it?
Professor Shibajo said he has submitted the report.
Submitting doesn't mean he has seen it. The man wasn't well. I mean, I've just received, you can receive something without going through it. Yeah, that's one. But you see, okay. I don't know why you have not tried to look at some other aspects of this thing. The fact that somebody has shown up, the wife of the NIA Director General, claimed to have paid $1.6 million for that place, owns the place, and the receipts belong to a company, should be limited. And the money they used to pay was bought from a bureau de change, and the things were there. And then the way the money was transported in that place was known. What we're just finding it difficult to come to terms with is that if this money is for espionage, those responsible cannot come up on their own to talk, because they were acting. You see, if you watch all these spy movies, people don't come out. You don't come out to talk in the public. There could be a way in which such people are such, like you watch the trial of Oka in those days, when they went to camera. That's one of the things that were to be said could not be said in the open court. This thing could also have been said in a closed door session. I don't know what the legal people will say about that. You know, yeah.
I don't know how much we really are going to get to hear of this, because it's got to that murky world of espionage, diplomatics, and all of that. And as we know, again, quoting our source of spy stories, spy fiction, spy movies, even governments, when they send you out on their behalf, you get into trouble, they will deny you. I mean, it's mutual, it's known. It's known that, you know, we will say we don't know anything about it. So in that kind of environment, I don't know how much clarity we can really expect. But let me get it from Samali, calling in from Ojodu. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Yori.
Thanks for calling in.
Yes, I have a question to ask. Are you sure this money is not being passed over to the wrong person? Because the federal government never says it owes that money. Then, I mean, who went to the court? Who is the court passing judgment on behalf now? That who is gaining from the court judgment? Is it the federal government? Is it the NSA or the River State government, which has a claiming the ownership of that money?
All right, thank you very much for calling in.
I think there's need for education. The federal government doesn't have to own the money. But in this particular case, the dramatic personnel, i.e., the Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, said the money belongs to the agency. So by extension, the money belongs to the federal government of Nigeria. But in this particular case, because we've not been given the opportunity to know the outcome of the investigation of Oshibajo, it is difficult for us to assign any guess. But the important thing to mention is that the EFCC followed the procedure for the forfeiture, the final forfeiture. Because even if the money doesn't belong to the federal government, once it's a proceed of crime and it's forfeited, it goes to the consolidated account of the country. So
that's the way it is in law. Thanks for that enlightenment. Maxwell in Tema, Ghana, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Yari.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning to my uncles at their panelists there.
Thank you for calling in.
Okay. I just have one or two questions to ask, sir.
Okay.
That particular building at Osborne Road, who owns that building? That's number one.
Well, that part of it is no secret.
Who is the tenant, the official tenant of that particular apartment?
Oh, okay. But Maxwell, if you've been listening, we've actually supplied that information in the course of this conversation. Mrs. Oke, the wife of the suspended Director General, and as to who owns it, a senator came out and said...
No, former chairman of
PDP. Former PDP chairman.
Okay.
Ali Adamu has said that it's mine, and he had explained the resources with which he built it.
Okay, Uncle Yori, okay, let me come in there. Now, since there is a tenant of that particular house, how can a ghost just walk into that same apartment, created his or her own key, and lodge such amount of money in that particular room? No other room there. I just want to conclude, Uncle Yori, that there is some kind of conspiracy theory in surrounding this kind of, discovery. Thank you and have a good day. God bless you all in Lagos.
Indeed. Thank you very much. I'm going to go on a quick commercial break. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back. We'll continue this conversation and keep taking your calls. Okay, welcome back. And Mr. Yakuba has been on the line while we were on break. Good morning, sir. Go right ahead, please.
Hello, sir. Are you hearing me?
We can hear you.
Yeah. I always respect Mr. George's opinion on every issue that come up in this program. He said, you see, Mr. George have already said it all. But I don't want to add a little thing that you see, that money, the source of that money, the real owner of that money, I think we are going to know it when the information that in the hand of the vice president, acting president, come up. Because I think the acting president already worked on that issue. It is unfortunate that our president is not around. Even having said that, if Mr. President has seen the report, but it is not that well okay to be able to act on it before he goes out of the country. But I believe God Almighty Allah will see him, and then when he comes back, every Nigerian is waiting for that report to come up, so that we know what is really going on there. Thank you, and God bless you.
Okay, indeed, thank you very much. And we're talking about, Amandili, coming back to you about possible conspiracy theories. That is indeed, until we hear what the acting president-led panel has come up with. We're going to continue with this speculation. There's no, that is how it is. One theory is that, bearing in mind that there are some people, maybe they are fortunate, or I don't know, but there were people who witnessed the fact that towards the end of the last administration and moving into the election time, I mean, you would think dollars, US dollars, was a national currency, because in certain sectors that was the currency of choice, and that was the currency that was being spent. And so the theory goes that, you know, maybe this money is part of the election war chest that was creamed, part of which was creamed, and that's the the $13 billion that you see there. These kind of sensational theories will necessarily be walking around town until we know concrete evidence-based facts. Not so, Amadili?
Yes, but you see, the elections took place in April. It was supposed to be February 14th, then moved to March or April 2015. This money was moved in, as the court got to know, between August 25th and September 3rd, 2015. So we're talking about 5 months interval before the money was moved to that apartment. And the apartment was rented by a limited liability company, which happened to have been a purposely registered company for that purpose, because the EFCC said that company was doing another thing.
Yes.
So just register for that. And the son of the NIA DG and the wife were the directors there. And they went to the house of the registered director of the company, so on, off Allen Avenue, and they gave them a summons from the court. Now, you own this building, you bought the building for $1.6 million. You have something there. Come to court. They did not show up in court. Now, and then the judge in his judgment said that, in fact, it's illegal to keep money from criminal proceeds in a house. So, and the Money Laundering Act itself will also be used against the owners of the building. Because at the end of the day, I believe that if justice is to follow its course, the owners of the building will have to also go to the court someday. They'll be there in court. So the question...
And even that whole question about proceeds of criminal activity, lawyers will have a field day on that one sentence.
Yes,
so, well, tell me how you... But Reverend Dominic has been waiting to join the conversation. Good morning, Reverend.
Good morning, Yori.
Thank you for calling.
Good morning to your panelists.
Sure.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yori, so since 1999 to 2015, I have not supported any presidential candidate except Muhammad Buhari. And my reason to do it as a pastor openly everywhere I go is that we have more answers to governance than questions. The last administration from 1999 to 2010, 11 to 15 creates more confusion. And the time you want to get the answer, that they create more confusion. Before we get an answer to any question, they create more. But this FCC government, to me, my personal view, have started. What happened to Mr. Oke and Mr. Oke? Who kept government money? Let's agree the money belongs to what he claimed. What happened to him? Who took more government money that's supposed to be in the facility of director of whatever NIA to private house of Mr. and Mr. What happened to them? Now the court has said give the government the money. The matter has been ended, and you know that Mr. President is sick. When he comes back, what will not be answering is not who owes the money or not. The matter has gone. Tomorrow is not confusion. How do we continue confusion in Nigeria without clarity? We thought by now, when you commit a crime, you go for it. Unlike before. Now, if you commit a crime, we see potentially go to court, we jail them, they go back home and disappear. In this government, that's much confusion. This is not what I vote for. This is not the change I asked for. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, the difference, as you well know, Reverend, coming over to you, Fassi, is that here, this administration is not a military administration. You wouldn't have tried this in a military administration. I mean, if this was there, those guys in the military days would have sorted out the whole matter in 1 or 2 hours. They would have arrived at a conclusion, whether you like it or not, whether it can stand up in law or not. Have been executed. Well, you know, that kind of a thing. But you see, here we're running a democracy. There are lawyers all over the place that will not let you forget about due process. Things like proceeds of criminal activity, of crime. Lawyers can just easily spend 3 weeks on that one sentence alone while they're acting. So this is what we're dealing with here. And this is, we say that no matter how jaga democracy be, it's better than the worst, I mean, the best kind of military. So these are the situations we're contending with. I'm relating to Dominic's point about we thought these kind of things would be no more with a PMB in charge, a PMB administration. Is that what it says? Yes, that has been supporting him, and the whole idea was that all of these things would not be possible. But it looks like he is now, the administration is now tied down or boggled down by the very law on which it stands.
Well, bequeathing the former president of the United States of America reminds me of Nigerian democracy. When he said that with democracy, things are slow in happening. But with democracy, development is sustainable. But it might be slow. But I don't think he envisaged the type of snail speed we are moving in this country.
Well, Lai Mohammed was here yesterday, and he was talking about the immense task of cleaning out the agent's table. He probably underestimated the amount of foundational work that had to be done.
Lai can tell that to the Marine. To my mind, it's badadash. Because if you set up a committee, another committee, and for a sensitive matter that the whole nation is waiting for God's sake, that money is more than the budget of many states in 3 months. And we are not getting to know that. Since the president got to receive this report before he traveled, what was there? I mean, 2 sentences, Mr. President, let us read this report. Mr. President, these are the issues involved. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Vice President. You soon become the acting president. Implement and all the rest. So should we be held to ransom and you allow speculations to thrive?
Mr. Daniel is on the line. I beg your pardon for interrupting you. Mr. Daniel is on the line. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Jerry. Sure. Yeah, I want to get back a little bit from all so far. In that we all know that security agencies need funds to run their organization, especially the NIA. So with CIA and other organizations of such in that situation. However, my ground is Mr. Okay, is that why should he use his wife to be the keeper of money? He has staff, he has about staff, he has informants and statements that we should have used. That's point one. His job is false to his wife. Secondly, Mr. Vice President should have confirmed, and I'm sure he would have done that during the investigation, whether NIA has an official account with banks. You know, Mr. President cannot at all times go to the bank to collect money for his for part operation. He might want to investigate the doctor. hundreds of thousands. One of his men goes to take the amount of all whoever and send them out. Now, we know that all governors have security, whatever you call it, funds that are not accountable for. So, Mr. Oketi must have, I'm sure he does have. You know, but the fact remains that you really have kept it in that house. Yes, it's actually possible to have used such a safe house. You know, but why use his wife and not one of his creators? The best thing in that life, he has voted, no doubt about it, especially considering the corrupt nature that we have all found ourselves in.
Yeah.
You know, to say, the man did things wrong, or has the conscious in how to handle situations like this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling in. So, taking off from where he ended, the contending forces, on the one hand, NIA, I believe their position was that, look, there's nothing corrupt about the money there that needs your attention. In fact, it belongs to us. That was thought to be enough to for EFCC to back off, saying, oh, okay. But no doubt the contention of the EFCC is that, sorry, I don't believe that. Let's get in front of a judge for the judge to decide.
Yeah, in fact, the informality and the improper way, even if it was approved, the improper, what the last speaker, the last caller was saying, was a method of moving the money through siblings and, you know, family members, that they had people within the system that could have done it officially. I guess with BVN, it was difficult to put into a personal account because you have to now trace and give, and as explained what the money is, and the Money Laundering Act will raise a red flag. Now, when the wife was paying for that thing, she paid $760,000, $650,000, $360,000 through a bureau de change that converted it to 360 million naira to buy a flat. A flat, 360 million naira to buy a flat in her name, not in the name of NIA. You see, or not in the name of what we call because even the NIA itself could use a shell name to do it, and we all know that it's a kind of name. But it was bought in her name, and herself and her son were the directors of the company. So when you have used 360 million naira to buy a flat where you want to keep 13 billion naira, these are the things that made me to say, when the second and last caller was talking, what I thought he was going to say was that if it was the days of Obasanjo, Yaradua, and Goodluck Jonathan, this matter will have ended in a family affair. I think that we should give kudos to the president, to the president too, because the president must have felt very uncomfortable too. That's why the thing is dragging. Because if we want to sweep this under the carpet, it will be easy to call this to sweep it under the carpet, and the next thing will just be. Do you know how many things have been forgotten in this country that we thought, wow, this is a big thing. Till today, nothing had happened to it.
In fact, as you were speaking, I was reminded of the former First Lady, Dame Patience, and her case with the law, where the law actually said, you know what, you know,
pendulum.
Yes, and so they sort of lifted off their hands, their legal hands, and you know, people were surprised at that, but the court actually has said, I think effectively what the court has said is benefit of doubt.
No, in the case of Dame Patience, Jonathan, what happened was that they did not do a thorough investigation, and they did not even attach a name to the money. And in any case, she now came up to say, look, this money belongs to me. And the EFCC was unable to counter that. And people thought EFCC was going to appeal, but what the EFCC did was to now do the proper thing.
Yes.
And that was why that forfeiture order was given. And now that is what it is trying to get back. So up to this moment, she has not succeeded. Okay.
Mr. Tunde Akala in Ibadan, good morning, sir. Kunle Akala, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you for calling in.
Kunle Akala from Ibadan.
Yes, go ahead, please.
I just want to contribute to your discussion there.
We'd like you to.
This is a very simple case. For sure, if the government is interested in getting the source of this money, it's very simple. The point is that the government is not willing to disclose any information regarding that money. Because if they want, it doesn't take them, they know when this money was printed. I mean, where this money is printed. for sure, they can trace that to the mint house. And then the owner of that house, who owns that building, who owns the apartment, haven't known the person that owns the apartment. Let us know why that money that is supposed to be in the central bank should be in the private house. So,
well, I don't know. We don't want to get into the details of it, but he has positioned himself, the one-time PDP chairman has positioned himself that I was just the landlord. I sold this house off. I don't know what you put in your cupboard there. I don't know what you put in your fridge there.
No, I think the point he was trying to make is, why should this money that is said to belong to NIA find its way into a private residence of the wife of the NIA? Is it the family security outfit?
Yes.
Or a national security outfit?
But why bring the landlord in?
No, I think he did not say. He was talking about the owner of the flat. The owner of the flat.
Oh, that's what he meant by the landlord.
Yes.
Okay, the owner of the flat.
Okay. Which is the wife of the...
yes.
Because you don't turn the whole thing to a family affair. And that's not the way security is operated. For you to do it neatly,
yes,
there should not be any connection whatsoever
with the family.
With the family.
But the wife,
because
and the son
like my colleague here said,
the director,
like my colleague here said, there are many operatives there. You have director of foreign operation, director of underground operation, director of whatever. So if anything has happened to him, then it means the whole money will have gone.
Okay, one moment, please. Good morning, Madam Blessing.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
Yes, sir. Please, Mr. Yori, we should not waste our time. Till the kingdom come, we will not know the person that holds the money. My contribution is that they should just look for what they want to do in this country with that money and give it to another person so that the money will not find it in Cotonou at the end of the day, maybe in Ghana. Because this issue, we will not see it. We should just stop wasting our time. This is Connie Mandai. Connie Mandai. God bless us all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, Blessing. You see, where Blessing takes a position, you know, because she said, look, this matter is Connie Mandai, Connie Mandariam. We are not going to get to the bottom of this.
We've gone beyond that. We now know who brought the money in. We now, people have, it's so clear. It's so clear that what we are trying to, and the money has returned to the federal government.
Yes.
What if the money had got missing between the time it was found and now? What do we say?
But when you say it is so clear, it is so clear to you and maybe to me and maybe to the rest of our colleagues in any pepper soup joint. But waiting for a line from government, a statement from government, so we can say this is our source of information.
The High Court judge had spoken, sir. I have the judgment here. You want me to read it? The High Court judge. No. The High Court judge.
So what you're saying is that
the circumstances surrounding leading to the discovery of the huge sum stockpiled in Flat 7B leaves no one in doubt that the act was pursuant to an unlawful activity. The very act of making cash payment of $1.6 million without going through any financial institution by Mrs. ABC for the acquisition of Flat 7B Osborne Tower is a criminal act punishable by the Money Laundering Amendment Act.
And that was a judge.
Yeah,
don't go further. Thank you very much. Mr. Lambert is waiting in, Mr. Lawrence. Good morning, sir.
Mr. Yori, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
I greet your two
guests. Yeah.
Well done, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What we need to do as in Nigeria is to first commend the EFCC. If they want to circumvent the majority of Nigeria, they will cover that thing up. And this starts to show us that most of the money appropriate for all these security agents are handed in private hands. The fundamental question is to ask, how can that money get in a private property? Does that place belong to NIA? And based on the information of the public, that the wife of DG is the one that procured that flat. What are we talking again? Whether the Professor Yemi Osinbajo revealed the truth or did not reveal the truth, thank God the EFCC quickly go to the courts, and court has conferred that money back to the federal government. They will use it to solve Nigerian problem.
Yeah.
That is my contribution, sir.
Thank you very much. Following with blessing, say, look, identify something to do with that money. Go ahead and deploy it, and then, you know, so that let the owners of the money benefit from it.
Well, unfortunately, the money has gone into the consolidated revenue account.
Yeah.
So,
So
hoping that somebody like Dame will not come tomorrow and say, it's my money.
Well, later come
I'm going to Supreme Court. It's my money.
But the point is this, like, I mean, arising from the judgment,
Yes.
we expect that EFCC will now try Mrs. Oke.
Yes.
Or the regular Nigerian police will take over the case and prosecute the woman for money laundering because of $1.6 million. I mean, even with the current exchange rate, it's
almost 500 million.
You're talking about 500 million.
Yes, so one doesn't want to comment on the case.
To procure one flat. I mean, that is,
one doesn't want to comment on the case, but these are things that no doubt the committee would have grappled with. The wife of the sitting director, her son, both their sons, that needs to be explained, and it shows that things got a bit far gone in previous administrations, because what I mean by that is I don't imagine that kind of a thing is doable today, but those things were doable in the past.
In the past.
And Samuel is in Akute, I am told. Good morning, Mr. Samuel. Mr. Samuel, good morning. We're waiting for you.
Good morning. How are you?
Please go right ahead.
I'm greeting you. Well done.
Thank you very much. Please go right ahead.
What we are saying.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Okay. What we are saying is this. God has made it possible for us to see the money. So now, the government should just forget about going here and there to know who holds the money. The government got hold the money, and they have got their money back. Let them do something better with the money.
Okay.
Nigeria is a place where everything goes. It's only God that can rescue Nigeria from the hands of these people that the devil are ready to control their life to the point of death. God will see us through. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Samuel. But keeping this conversation on this, straight and narrow, on the terrestrial line.
Not celestial.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but again, that opinion follows in the theme of we're not going to get to know much more than we know now. So can people just find a way to deploy that money to the benefit of the entirety of Nigerians? But as Fassi has pointed out, they consolidated the new fund.
I don't even believe in that. I mean, some people must pay for the.
That is to people who are saying don't bother finding out
for their indiscretion.
Yes,
and again, we have to learn from that episode.
Indeed.
How did this happen? How can we prevent the reoccurrence? And how can we get these people punished?
And could this be a tip of the iceberg?
Is that woman going to retain that flat? Where did she get the $1.6 million?
These are questions that
why should the husband now get the wife and the son to own a company that will now take custody of 13 billion naira?
Mr. Ayo from Oshogbo, good morning, sir. You're a last caller.
Good morning, Ms. Ikoyigate.
Thank you very much, sir, for calling in.
Thank you very much. I want to appreciate your guests there, the two panelists over there. Okay. They've done a very good job there. But I haven't said that, sir. The question to ask is, first, do we all believe in the fight against corruption? If we all believe that, all hands must be on deck. We should give the president kudos for doing this. In time past, this wouldn't have come out at all. It would have been settled under the ground.
As a family affair.
We will not even know anything about it. But thank God for the courage of the president for him to stand firm on the fight against corruption. Secondly, we don't need to bother ourselves about who owns the money or where the money comes from. We know the money belongs to the federal government.
Okay.
It was stolen from the federal government, and thank God now the court has finally forfeited to the federal government. The federal government should do something needful. They should, please, we are only pleading. They should do something about this money. They should do something that Nigerians will appreciate.
Okay, Ayo, I'm sorry for rushing you, but I've run out of time completely. Interesting point that a number of people have made. Don't bother about the source. You've seen the money. Nobody can come forward and challenge you. They're all rogues. All of these have to be determined. And we just have to go through that process. Rule of law, thorough investigation, evidence, so that the cry of witch hunt doesn't come about, as improbable as it might sound.
And also lessons for the future.
Indeed, lessons for the future.
Yes.
So much more to say, but thank you very much, gentlemen. As always, Dr. Fasi Yusuf, Chief Dr. Fasi Yusuf, lawyer and communications consultant, and Chief Dr. Madeli Boyo, public affairs analyst.
I'm not the chief.
Okay, I'll keep the chief out. Yes. Okay, Dr. Madeli Boyo, thank you very much,
I think we'll all worry with some given a chief.
I'm Yori Folari. Bye-bye for now.